What's up, everybody? It's your girl, Melody Shari, and we are back with another amazing episode right here on my Patreon. Listen, if you are just joining or if you're new to the community, here on Patreon, we have deep dive conversations about what's going on, what's happening, what's the hot topics, and how people have grown, overcome, and truly really shown they're unbreakable and unstoppable. And sometimes, baby, we put it all on the floor, okay? Well, today, I have with me an amazing dear friend of mine. I'm so excited for you all to meet her and get to know her. You may know her as a former executive producer for OWN's #1 show, Love and Marriage Huntsville, Angela Dugan. Woo! No. You better do all of that because you deserve all of that. Do you hear me? Listen, Angela, all the way from Chicago, gracing us with her presence. And when I tell y'all, season 1, 2, boots on the ground for Love and Marriage Huntsville.
Boots on the ground, it's a mission.
Listen, right here, literally pretty much moved here. Let's be clear. Because we filmed. Listen, because we filmed all the time. Mm-hmm. All the time. And when I tell you your storytelling ability, Angela, your professionalism, the way you knew how to bring story to the center, to the front, and make it all just mesh so well with what was happening. I just got to give you your flowers.
Thank you.
I got to say that you definitely were behind Love and Marriage Huntsville hitting like it did. And that goes to my first question. Did you think, because you have a show that you executive produced, that's a #1 show on OWN, did you think going back to the sizzle and all of that, right? The interviews, you interviewed everybody. Let's be honest.
I casted the show, guys. Before we could bring on Miss Kia. Yes.
Did you think it would be a hit like it became?
Absolutely, honey. I ain't doing nothing that ain't gonna be a hit now.
Period.
And it was instantly. I think I told you guys that was the shortest project that we took from development meaning meeting y'all to being on TV. 1 year from shooting the sizzle and then the premiere of the series being announced. That does not happen.
Wow.
Like Styling Hollywood on Netflix, that took 3 years.
Wait, hold on. It took Styling Hollywood 3 years?
1, 2, 3.
From the sizzle development to it getting picked up?
Yes, it went through several networks development.
Oh, wow.
Like that was not just straight through.
Wow.
So, and I say that to say like that doesn't mean that project wasn't great. It's just getting a network home to see the vision and understand it. And shout out to John Sinclair, Stacey Carr.
John Sinclair. Oh my gosh. Okay, I gotta say this. Hold on, Angela. I gotta say this. John Sinclair. If you are watching right now, I just want you to know when you would come into Huntsville, okay, just tall, gives Hollywood, super tall, thin, coming in like you knew he was an executive, okay, from the OWN network, like you knew what it was. John, I just love you. And I still love you. So, John, if you're watching this, hey. Hey, John Sinclair.
Yes, John Sinclair. But,
wow.
He believed in the project from the start. It was a little, it wasn't an official bidding war, but it was between OWN and another network. And OWN said, this is what we want. This is, at the time, it was fulfilling a bucket. I believe that was when they were really trying to hone in on but it wasn't the Black Love bucket yet, because originally, what was that show called in development? Rocket City Revival.
Rocket City Revival.
And the show was truly, I remember when we were pitching the concept, and this was a time I noticed that Black people, especially Black women, were watching a lot of HGTV and consuming a lot of shows around design and real estate. And I'm like, this would be great for OWN, which has a large Black woman audience, because it can kind of satisfy the real estate aspect. So going into it, it was 80%. And I remember this conversation like yesterday. It was 80% real estate, 20% the relationships.
Whoa.
Yes.
So originally the concept was 80% real estate, reviving Huntsville and the Black side of Huntsville. Shout out to North Huntsville, right? 80% real estate and only 20% relationship.
Yes.
Wow.
And it wasn't until we came down to film the pilot.
Oh, shit. Oh, shit.
And a burner phone was found. You know, and following the reality of that, because it was so much ingrained into, you know, the and what was happening. And,
can I speak to that really quickly? Because we know that involved me, unfortunately. Originally, despite what people may think, because I've heard all kinds of things, Angela, like, oh, she sold her marriage for a show and she this, that, and the other. Originally, the concept was supposed to be about these Black entrepreneurs doing their thing in Huntsville and how we can come together and make Huntsville better, right?
Right.
That was the entire idea, the concept originally. But unfortunately, things transpired. And I ain't good with faking it. I'm not good with faking it. Like, people could look back and say, oh, well, you could have just on camera pretended that this wasn't happening and da-da-da-da-da. I would not have been able to do that. So, in the fact that you as an executive producer knew, we've got to follow the reality of it.
Well, yeah. And honestly, it wasn't, I don't believe it. I mean, we followed it because that's what we do. We follow the reality. But as far as the decision to change the percentage, I can't say that came from, us 100%.
Yeah.
But to your point, no, it's not something you could have faked. That's a traumatic thing happening
in real time.
You could feel it. That's what I was saying. You could feel it, y'all. And and I remember like the interview. I remember the interviews and like the whisper. Yes, and
y'all, she's gonna make me cry, but because you were there for all of that. Like, I don't know if y'all understand, but Angela, when I tell y'all, she was there for all of that, for all the emotions. Like, you were there for all of that.
Yeah.
That was a real thing.
And thank you, because not everyone would have allowed us into that. It would have, and you initially you were like, this is what's happening. And we kind of pushed ourselves in, like, look, this is a one-time opportunity. Like, we'll hold your hand. But not everyone would have just trusted the process and just let the cards fall where they may. So thank you. And yes, it became a hit show, but this was a real life thing happening. And that greatly shifted, what the show was following.
But I think that's what made Love and Marriage Huntsville in the beginning days such the hit that it became, because like even us talking about it stirred emotions in me. I'm not a big crier, and you got me over here crying, right? But I think that's what made the audience connect to it so well, is because they could feel the emotion through the screen. They could feel the real in the reality of it all. And that's when we would get those high viewership numbers. That's why the numbers were so high, is because you could feel it. And yes, I did push back and say, no, can't do it, not gonna do it.
Anybody would.
Not gonna do it. And you, definitely. You guys said, we'll hold your hand through this process. This is a once in a lifetime thing. And anyway, let's go.
And I just want to say that because that's what drew me to the genre of reality in the first place. Reality can have such a negative connotation around it. When I first moved to Los Angeles out of college, I wanted to write TV shows and make movies. And I was introduced to Carlos via a friend who knew I was a writer. And that's how I came in. I didn't come in necessarily seeking out to tell reality stories. But anyway, I say that to say, as a writer, you are looking at the story.
Yeah.
And that's what I loved about reality. Even the shows I watched. Yes, the shade and the clapbacks, that's cute. But what's the story?
Yeah.
Like, I remember before I even became a reality producer, I was watching Love and Hip Hop in the early days.
Yeah.
Yes, Love and Hip Hop came to be known for all of that. But what drew me in was Stevie, Jocelyn, Mimi. That was a story of trauma, of heartbreak, of infidelity.
And you could tell it was real.
And it was real.
Yeah.
And so that's the storyteller that I wanted to be. Where's the humanity?
Yeah.
What is the human story in everything that's happening?
Wow. So I've got to ask you this. So you, after college, packed up,
yes,
moved to LA with this big dream, right? Of the impact that you wanted to make on television. And then you got into reality television, right? Do you feel like now in 2026, reality television is still where your alignment lies? Or do you feel yourself being pulled more towards that original young Angela dream and goal?
No, I don't feel like reality is where my alignment lies. I wish it did. Now it seems to be reality and documentary.
Ooh.
If you notice, like in the early days of Love and Marriage, we would say docuseries, like correcting people, docuseries, which is short for documentary series. This is not a reality show. Would you say this isn't the ATL, but the ALA?
Oh my gosh. Y'all, that was my first real hit line, like, on Love and Marriage Huntsville. This ain't the ATL, this is the ALA.
It was gold, and she said it unprompted. This was like during development, and when we got series, we like, yeah, say that line again. Not just to, rebrand reality, but no, to be taken more seriously than the average reality show, because this is not a show about shade and clapbacks and getting one over the other. It's really a story that we're threading here. And at the heart of it was rehabilitating, renovating North Huntsville, the predominantly Black area of Huntsville, Alabama. That's an important story to tell. That's what got OWN interested. It was a true purpose to the show.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And OWN was definitely highly interested in that, because I remember, I'm going to see if you remember this, Angela. I remember the days of, hey, we got to get some homes built. We've got to be able to show that we're actually doing what we say this show's concept is. We need at least 2 homes up.
Yeah.
And then we put 2 homes up, my ex and I.
Yes. And even before the homes came into view, we were looking at you all developing over the 47 acres, which is giving you seasons of development, real estate development.
Yes.
So that was the original big idea.
Yeah. And it seems to have been hard to get back to that core from, I quit in December 24. So only a year out from now, but, or in the past, but even my final seasons, I feel like it just definitely moved away from, it was hard for some reason for it to get back to the 80-20 of this versus that. Yeah.
And I think that happens when the group gets fractured.
Yeah.
Like you said, faking it. I don't want to work with these people, what I'm saying? So it's like, it's hard to, especially as producers, you're trying to force people to like work together and to work through their differences so that you could come back and work together. But
well, can I ask you a question? I want you to, now look now, I can ask whatever I want today.
I mean, I might plead the fifth.
Yeah, you're gonna be okay. Okay, so y'all know if Angela ends up saying I'm pleading the fifth, we know why. Okay, because she ain't answering that. I mean, she ain't planning to answer that one. But I want to ask you this: you were boots on the ground in the first couple of seasons that were very strong, very strong. Do you think or ever think that your presence you know, because you moved up and got, you know, other positions. You started doing other shows. And y'all, Angela is bomb. When I tell you her casting ability is amazing. Her executive producing ability is amazing. Her finding talent, finding story. I mean, she's done some of the shows you probably love. Family Empire, Houston, like so many. But listen, do you think that if you had have been boots on the ground here still, that LAMH could have gotten back to what it once was?
It's one of my regrets.
Oh, yeah. Okay. All right. Okay. Yeah. I can see that because, you know, just when you were, y'all, when I tell y'all Angela was all in, you were just all in making sure that our show popped and making sure that at the center of it all, when it was all said and done, that story was there. So
yeah,
you're that girl. You are that girl. Like, you know what you're doing.
Yeah.
So I mentioned some other shows. Family Empire Houston. Y'all, Angela just got nominated for a Webby Award. Yes. Okay, like literally today.
Yes, like just found out.
Literally, so congratulations to you. We're all gonna flood and vote, okay, for Angela, and tell them the name of the docuseries.
So, my company, Southside Tours, we're not only a tour company, but we also produce oral history and stories of real people in Chicago. Yes. And so we did this documentary about a great man, Bernard Shannon. He has a hat, fedora shop, long time beloved on the South Side. And we're nominated for branded entertainment in the documentary category.
Wow.
So if you go to the Webby Awards website, find branded entertainment, you'll see Bernard's wear. It's under Southside Tours. Please vote. I believe we're in second place right now.
Yay!
Let's make it first.
How long we got? We got what, 2 weeks?
We have a week and 6 days now. Voting closes on April 16th.
All right, so y'all know what to do. Y'all head over to Webby, Branded Entertainment, search for Mr. Bernard, Southside Tours, and we are going to run those numbers up. Y'all know how we show up. Don't make me put the chess piece up on my story today. Now, y'all know how we do. So listen, y'all know to go show up. So listen, so congratulations again. We've got under your belt, Love and Marriage Huntsville, Family Empire Houston. Tell the people some other shows.
Love and Marriage DC, Love and Marriage Detroit, Styling Hollywood was, that was the first show that I ever sold under the Kingdom Reign banner. Behind Every Man, I just did development on that one, but Behind Every Man aired on OWN during the, yes, you were yes. Oh, yeah.
I remember whenever I got the call.
And I remember when I got the call during filming.
Oh, gosh. Now, see, there she go with the little T. You got the call during filming. We know what call that was. We ain't even got to get into it. Y'all know what call that was.
Oh, my gosh. What else? So earlier on in my career, so my first producing job in reality, unscripted, was Hollywood Divas. That was with TV One, with the Black actresses in LA.
Yeah.
Selling it in the ATL. That was for We TV. The Next 15. That was TV One. I feel like I'm missing some stuff. But even in addition to series, and I tell people this a lot, lots of paid development with different networks, Bravo, Hulu. That's also why I say it's so extraordinary that Love and Marriage was developed and sold in a year. There are so many awesome projects that I've developed, that people develop, that do not see the light of day. When I think of some of my other favorites, they're developments that never got greenlit. Yeah. And you know, it's a tragedy, y'all. Yeah. Like this is good stuff that will never see the light of day. I think I saw Marshawn Lynch have posted, like, I could tell it was a sizzle, and he put in the caption, like, I guess since it didn't sell, we'll just host. And I'm like, that's what I wanted to do. Yeah. When stuff would not sell, I'm like, we should just post the sizzle because this is gold. Yeah. And you know, the buyers, they're just not seeing it, or it's not on their agenda for the year.
Yeah, whatever the network's agenda could be. Yeah.
Right. And that's actually how the Girl Group show came about. That wasn't my project, but the one that was on VH1, the girl group show.
I'm not making the band, but kind of like the female version of that.
Yes. I think it was called Girl Band or Making the Girl. I can't remember the title, but it was on VH1 and it had Aubrey and Total and stuff in it.
Okay.
But that pilot got leaked.
Was it R&B Divas? No. Okay.
This was like, I don't remember the title of it,
but it got leaked.
The pilot was leaked.
Oh wow!
Like from what I saw, because I saw it when it broke on like the Shade Room or something.
Yeah,
and it was just like, what is this project? And that was a project that had been passed on, you know, by it wasn't on VH1, it was on BET. I'm sorry.
Okay.
But it had gotten passed on previously years ago.
Yeah.
And so the pilot got leaked. The Shade Room comments went ham, egg, and cheese. And then now it's a greenlit show.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
And you see like content creators, people making their own shows and just distributing it directly to their
Country
audiences.
Wayne. Yeah.
And networks kind of created this environment by not just being willing to take more risks with the type of things they're greenlighting.
Yeah.
So people are making the stuff they want to see.
Like if you don't want to make it happen, I'm going to make it happen. Pretty much.
And now they have social media. They have a distribution channel to do it. And you no longer have to wait for permission.
But I love that people are making sure they're unstoppable, right?
Yeah.
Which is something I'm big on because I'm like, look, you never know the curveball that life is going to throw you, but you got to make sure that no matter what, you're unstoppable. So when you get those no's, you still find a way to make that no a yes. Even if the path looks a little bit differently, but you're showing I'm unstoppable. Like no matter what comes my way, and y'all know that's what I'm all about over here. No matter what comes my way, no matter what hits me, watch me pull up this strength. Watch me rise like the phoenix that I am and show you that I'm unstoppable. So I gotta say, Angela, you as a former executive producer, right, for Kingdom Reign, you have still continued to move forward and continue to let your light shine, continue to let your gifts shine. How has that been in that just transition, right? We'll call it a transition for you. How has that been for you?
It's been amazing because I'm just continuing to be who I've always been, but louder.
Ooh,
and unapologetically.
I like that.
And not worrying about dimming my light so that I don't like outshine other people. And then when you have your own thing, it's easier to do that too, right? Because it's me. But even, you know, going back to Love and Marriage Huntsville, I remember, you know, because I've always been Angela, and I remember the Juneteenth celebration years ago. It didn't make air, but I remember the crew not being very happy with me. But I said, look, that we were supposed to leave town on Saturday. I said, this Juneteenth celebration is happening Sunday. This is a Black show. Juneteenth is an important holiday for Black people. We need to stay in town and film this event. And those who want to go, and you know, it was people that were just like, you know, I mean, and I get it. Like, you know, this tyrant of a woman is,
do y'all hear the
we
fire
want to go
in
home
her?
to our families. Cause you know, crew, not everyone's local. They come from other places and they want to get home. I get it, but it's Juneteenth. So those who were fine to stay, they stayed. And we filmed the annual Juneteenth celebration here in Huntsville. It was beautiful.
Beautiful.
You and your ex rode in on a horse. And it didn't make air.
You had all them people stay away from their families for one more day, and they didn't make air.
It didn't make air.
No, but what I hear, I whispered it kind of while you were talking, but do y'all hear the fire in her? And this is what separates you, Angela, from other executive producers, your passion. Your passion. And I mean, you know, I may call it a whole like female thing because y'all know, you know, we as females, we know how to go get it. Like we have a whole different passion in us, I feel.
We're the best leaders.
We're the best. And that is why female entrepreneurs are leading the entrepreneur percentage right now. Like we are go getters. And hearing you say like, no, we're staying. This is a Black show on a Black network, baby. This is Juneteenth. And I think probably then Juneteenth had just recently become a thing.
Yeah, that was like 2019.
Yeah,
or become a thing too on a national level. It is
that's
now.
what I mean, on a national level. Yeah, like I don't remember exactly what year that law was passed, but it had been. It was recent
during the pandemic.
Yeah, so you were like, no, we're staying.
I had to say any contracts I signed. Yeah, this day I won't be working.
I won't be working. Make sure you have this in my contract. I won't be working. I love it. Angela, y'all, she is still so fun and funny. This is exactly the energy we used to get. Mm-hmm. We used to get on LAMH that I think made all the difference in the world. It is something about whenever you have a team leading you, because as the executive producers, they're leading you, right? As the showrunners, they're leading you. But to have people who are leading you, who you can get this kind of vibe from, you can have conversation. I mean, y'all see, she made me cry the first 5 minutes. I wasn't expecting to be crying. My makeup better not be messed up. I wasn't expecting to be tearing up the first 5 minutes of this interview, but when you can feel that their concern, their care, and I feel like, Angela, that's how you were with everybody on this show. Like if you ask anybody.
I tried to be.
Yeah. And I think what we all, and I'm going to speak for all of us on this. I think one thing we got from you was that, we're making a show, but I also do care and I want to make sure your story is told. Yeah. And that's the difference.
Can I tell a Marcel story? Or?
Yeah, you can. Yeah, okay. You can tell Marcel.
Marcel loves to tell this story, but it's a prime example of what you just said. Mm-hmm. We were shooting at the homes. What did we used to call them? The Stagway homes? Stag Run homes. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And this was like when the land was being cleared, because it was across the street from the church.
From the school and all that is over there now.
Yes.
Too, yeah. Mm-hmm.
And Marcel came to me. He was like either trying not to talk about something or trying to talk about something. I was like, you have to talk about it because this is why it's important. This is why it's important. And we're making a TV show. And he loves to tell that story. Like, it was in that moment that it clicked for me that I'm making a TV show. And Angela, she's going to make it make sense, but it's also going to be, and we're making a TV show.
Yeah.
And what does that mean, right? It doesn't mean like, oh, go ballistic. It means the good stuff. Give us the good stuff, the stuff that you're like, ooh, this, and again, we were talking in the context of business here.
Yeah.
But that's what is not only going to draw people in, but that's what people are going to learn. That's what people are going to take something from it and be able to apply it to what they got going on. If we're all here just being surface, you know what I'm saying? Then what am I watching this for? Like I've watched some reality shows this year, and I'm just like, we still doing the same, the surface.
Yeah.
Like we are in a time people want more. We're looking at each other's lives all the time, every day. Make it worth watching and make it something that I can actually use, because there's a million other things that I could and should be doing. Paying taxes, learning this new law. If I'm going to take my time to be entertained and educated by something, let's just make it good. Let's make it real.
And you made it that. And I think that's what a lot of people loved is they felt like when they came and watched LAMH, they were learning something.
Yes.
So even, let's go back. Can I take it back for a minute? The calls in the office to the bankers or to, the attorney about the comeback group and the percentage of what was, whose all names was on the paperwork.
Paying the LLC and the taxes.
Yes. You made sure those stories were seen and told and made sure, hey, y'all gonna have to talk about it. Let's talk about it.
Yeah.
Like you made sure that happened.
And that's conflict in itself.
Yes.
It's not just watching paint dry. I mean, it's real conversations that can get heated, that can get tense, and it's riveting to watch.
Yes, for sure. And still good, still learning, not having to do all the extra. And you know what? I would say too, when we talk about the repetitiveness of it, Angela, I think for me, at the reunion, my last reunion of 24, the reunion started out, you weren't at that one, but you were at the one prior. You weren't at my last one.
Okay.
But 24, let me tell you what happened. 24, I saw you at 23.
Yes.
But 24, I was like, okay, for a show to evolve, right? Mm-hmm. You've gotta, and tell me if I'm right or wrong, you're the executive producer, okay? You have to allow the stories to move. And I feel like LAMH at times was stuck. It was just stuck. and there was no movement. So is that the job of the executive producer, the call for them to make, or how does that work?
Well, I mean, not knowing what went on meaning like this, like unedited that season, right?
Yeah.
On the ground. I would say that you can only move a cast as much as and evolve a cast as much as they're willing to evolve.
Okay.
And that's as a unit.
Okay.
You can't have one person or one couple ready to evolve and then 3-4 other couples that are still like resistant because, you know, you guys aren't on islands.
Yeah.
Everyone has to be together to an extent in this.
Yeah.
If it's a show that's really true, you know,
Yeah.
if it's an island show where we're just watching people go to lunch and talk bad about each other, that's something else. So yes, the answer is yes. You want the show to evolve. You want to evolve with the cast and what's happening in their real life, because for the most part, our lives are evolving. You know, hopefully you're not doing the same thing you were doing 7 years ago in the same way you were doing it. You know what I'm saying? Especially if you're entrepreneurial, if you have these different ventures, how are you stretching yourself?
Yeah.
So that's the thing that you want to follow. But again, you need people to be transparent.
Yeah.
About their situation. That's the first thing. So if I hear that, you know, something is stuck or it's not moving, I would really seek to say, well, who's not being transparent about where they are right now? Who's kind of showing up and just playing a role?
Okay.
Yeah.
Looking at it as a scripted show versus unscripted. And that's what I think the audience started to feel. I think the audience started to feel this is giving scripted, because what we see on the camera is not what we know by way of, let's say, social media. Because didn't you actually pitch? There was a social media like mania thing for LAMH.
And this is before ChatGPT, okay? I used to be the title queen. Okay?
Okay. You were the title queen. Yes, before ChatGPT. I heard her. But didn't you pitch and produce that too?
Yeah, well, yes, definitely produced it. It was a part of like, you know, the season order, but it was the pandemic and we needed, the network needed something to kind of fill the hours that could be stationary. And I pitched because y'all was doing a lot on social media. There was a lot going on. And I knew it was needed because my mother, who watched the show, she was like, well, what are they talking about? They're saying this happened, or who shot John? I'm like, Mom, it happened on social media. So I'm like, so for viewers who are not on social media, we need an episode or two of explaining what's happening in real time on social media.
Wow. That was genius, by the way.
Thank you.
Yes. I look, I'm going to give you your flowers. That was genius, because I have never in my history of watching television ever seen where you had YouTube content creators coming together. You know, you had social media influencers coming on the camera, publicists, you know, just people who write articles for different magazines and stuff, just coming together to talk about a TV show.
I want to, you know what? Lula.
Yes.
Lula.
Oh, Lula used to run the Love and Marriage Huntsville group, Instagram page.
Lula was running the Love and Marriage Huntsville Instagram page. And I think her page was the only one that I followed. Because, you know, y'all had the streets hot. It was all types of love and marriage pages.
Yes.
And I mean, the Facebook group, I had to leave. I said, child, this is too much.
Yeah.
It's information, misinformation, conspiracies. Lula was right, and I followed that page because I love the way that she covered what we were doing.
Yeah.
I didn't know who was the person behind the page. Did not know, you know?
Wow, yeah.
And so after I pitched the Social Mania episode and we got it approved, she was the first person. I didn't know he. I went to the Instagram. I said, hi.
Oh, wow.
I'm the executive producer of da-da-da-da. Would you, we're doing this clip show. Would you like to come on camera and talk about? And she said no. She said no. I think this is when I don't even know if I still knew who it was. Okay, it could have been a robot.
Yeah.
And no, I'm not sure if I want to be on camera. This is kind of something I do on the side as a hobby. And I was like, okay, well, I love what you're doing. I think it'll be great. I think, you should be not exposed, should, what the work you're doing should get even more recognition, like on a show about social media. And so I think she said she'd pray on it. Either way, she decided to do it.
Yeah.
Look at Lula's evolution.
Yes.
From that moment to like, I don't know. And like now she just amazes me at like she's gone on to do a lot of things in the DEI space. And then she came on camera and we saw the face behind this great page. Yes. Mm-hmm. So yeah, I just love telling that story because I think she was like, no. And I'm like, you were the first person I thought of, but yeah.
Yeah, so when it came to the other people who were part of that, did you think of them as well and reach out? How did that look?
Yeah, they were people who consistently covered the show. Yeah. And that was a group effort in seeking them out. Okay. Mm-hmm. I was laser on the person who did this Love and Marriage. Wow. Like I knew
she's a sweetheart
because
too.
I like the underdog. I'm very much someone who roots for the underdog. This was somebody who you could tell they just loved the show. They weren't trying to, make a whole bunch of fuss. And I'm like, but what they're doing is nuanced. And yeah.
Wow. I love Lula. I actually interviewed her on my Instagram page a couple of years. She's a sweetheart.
Yes.
She's a sweetheart. Yes. So shout out to Lula, okay? Mm-hmm. I don't know if she still runs the Love and Marriage Huntsville Instagram page, but she definitely started it for sure. Mm-hmm. So I have another good question because y'all, we have an award-winning executive producer over here in the house, okay? Because we already claiming all of that, okay? So period. Another question. There has been a lot of talk and speculation when it comes to Love and Marriage Huntsville over the years and potential spinoffs, right?
More or?
I'm just in the past, like just potential spinoffs. Who, if you're able to say, if not, y'all know she already told us she gonna plead the fifth. Now y'all know I had mine already, my baby special, okay, and it did very well. It was so much fun. Oh, I remember that, Angela. Oh, they followed y'all. They captured everything.
Yes,
okay,
right. This was a horse and chariot. Yes,
y'all. Yes, we had the horse and chariot. Rolling again.
Oh my God, I'll never forget that day.
Yes, y'all had us go around so many times. Oh my gosh, so many times. And what you were saying?
They were like, around again. I think y'all rode in that circle about 5 times.
Oh my God.
I think I heard y'all saying, did they get it? But the kids
did they get it right? Did they get it? The kids were out there. Listen, it was a whole thing. But that baby shower was beautiful though. Oh, it was so pretty. Oh,
you know how to put on an event now.
Huh?
I say you know how to put on an event now.
On an event. Mimosas with Mel. Yes. Embrace Beauty Lunch. Remember that? Why you say? Hold on, wait. That's a moment. I gotta see. Hold on.
You didn't ask a question.
We gonna come back to that then. Embrace Beauty event. My question was for you, really quickly, not because I want to get to what that was about. Have there been in this group of the original Love and Marriage Huntsville cast? Other spin-offs that you guys were filming, interested in? Because this was a lot of conversation that never got confirmed. So if you're able to confirm that. Fifth, F-I-F. Okay, she's pleading the fifth. She's pleading the fifth. Sorry. Y'all, I love Angela. Okay, the fifth has been played, okay? What was your reaction you had with Embrace Beauty Lunch?
So I caught a lot of flack for that.
You did?
Not for the event, but what happened at the event.
What part?
I did not. It was like the gift of escortion.
Oh, did you name that?
No, you did.
Now, would you name the episode that? What was the name of the episode?
Post mainly named the episode.
Okay. The gift of what?
Escortion. ESCORTION. Webster's, get on your job. Yes.
Petty.
Yeah, so
Well, why did you catch slack for that?
child, because I showed up. Okay, so this was the time where I was no longer boots on the ground. I would fly in and out.
Uh-huh. Baby, let me tell y'all something. We knew Angela was flying in. Can I just say this real quick? Baby, we knew when Angela was flying in, that meant business, okay? We knew if they said Angela was going to be in town this week, oh, shit, y'all better get right.
So then I had to start secretly coming and telling nobody.
She would do that too, and all of a sudden, you go to a scene and, Angela, when did you
honey,
get
I mean
here?
the crew. I mean the everybody just popping up on everybody, okay? Yes. So the gift of escortion. I'm trying to so basically it was, you did not know Letitia was coming to the launch.
Yeah, not at all.
Now this is, and you know what, I will say this, but it's not me backtracking. It's not even me saying anything coulda, shoulda been done differently.
Yeah.
But everybody produces the way they produce. I'm a certain type of producer. I may not produce the way the next man or woman produces. Okay. So let's just put that there.
Okay.
So fine. You did not know Letitia was coming because at this time, this was like the first event of this was like the first week of filming, first or second week of filming for the new season.
Okay.
And you and Letitia were not on the same page. You guys were not really on speaking terms. But maybe you had already been asked if she could come. I don't know the specifics because I'm not boots on the ground. You know, I get the cliff notes.
Yeah.
So,
but I did not know she was coming.
You did not know she was coming. And I remember the team trying to convince Tisha to go because Letitia didn't want to go. And she's like, it doesn't make sense. We're not on speaking terms. This is one of those times where as a reality TV producer, where you've got everybody on a show, they cannot be on an island. You guys have to film together, okay?
Right.
So why don't we make it, so the team pitched the idea of Letitia being the one to extend the olive branch in the tension that you all had. Yeah. And from what I understood, they had spent a lot of time, you know, trying to get Tisha warmed up to the idea of coming. And it got to the point where it was just under the act of like the last prong. We're making a TV show. Okay. Like we need you to go, you know, if everything else is working.
Wow. Okay.
And so, but I think she warmed up to it anyway, just because like, you know, all right, fine. We'll get on the same page. So
I had no idea.
She was already convinced to go. And then I can't remember if I talked to her beforehand, but I know when I got to the place where it was, I specifically went to her. That's what it was, because they told me she's still feeling uneasy about it. She's in her car. She's here. And I went and sat with her, Letitia in her car, and, you know, just kind of continuing to reiterate what the team had already told her. This is why we think it makes sense for you to go. You know, it's one of those, you know, shifty times as a producer where you're trying to convince someone to do something they don't want to do that, you know, isn't going to kill them. You know what I'm saying? Like, you don't want to convince people to like, you know,
put me in harm's way.
but like, go to this event, please, type of thing. And so she went inside. I think she had an olive branch. I think she literally brought an olive branch, and I can't remember if that was her idea or the showrunner. But anyway, you know, she was asked to leave, and somehow I was like the face of like, oh, Angela set this up. Angela wanted Tisha to come, and she knew she was going to get thrown out, and she's a bad person. And I say that because we had a hell of a time trying to edit it because we have to take my name out because all types of F Angela, this Angela. And I'm just like, child, I just came from Huntsville Airport. I'm just, you know what I'm saying? And so
you got the heat for that?
I did.
I didn't even know. Can I just say this?
Yeah, sure. I mean,
I'm gonna keep
you
it a
said it on the special, but
yeah, it was, first of all, it was not planned. I didn't even know Tisha was coming. So there's no way that you could have set it up. Matter of fact, let me be real. Y'all see how my security rolls. That wasn't even my security guard. Okay. If I was going to have me a private security guard, I think y'all see how I would roll, right? That was Botanical Gardens security. Let's be clear. Okay. They had a thing in their contract. When you book with them, if you have a certain number of people, if it's after a certain time, because it was an evening event, they have a security person. I didn't know that guy. There was no planning. I met him in that moment, that night. Like, what? So Angela, we didn't plan.
Baby, we were in what we call Video Village, where we watch what the cameras are shooting. When that happened, my jaw was to the floor. Okay. And I remember Carla was like, "You will not believe what Melody just did. Oh my God, this is crazy." And I genuinely remember feeling bad for Tisha because she was standing with Kim Lewis when it happened. Well, I mean, I don't know if we can name him. Okay,
that's fine. Kim is my girl.
Yes, I love her.
I was gonna say shout out to Kim. Shout out to Kim Lewis, and we love Kim Lewis over here. Okay?
Yes, but I remember thinking like, how embarrassing for her. Like, it happened and then I was worried from an editing standpoint, because I'm like, oh my God, is Kim gonna be like, don't have me in no mess?
Yeah, because she don't do mess now.
Like, because that was the woman standing there when this happened.
Oh God.
So I was thinking of it in that way too. Like, I feel bad for Tisha. I don't want Kim to, And so anyway, so she was put out, and it was just all this like cussing and fussing going on about how Angela planned for all of this to happen. And
wow.
I'm just like, did y'all not see? Your ex was even shocked. He like, everybody was shocked.
Yeah, everybody was shocked. Why? Yeah, that's what he's doing.
Please. Oh my God. So, yes.
Oh God.
So yeah, it was not, but I say that because I tried to dead it and for a year. I think to this day it still believed that it was a scheme set up by Angela, and it just wasn't. And it literally just was not.
It wasn't.
Yeah.
Oh, I know it wasn't. Like, it wasn't. Like, it was not. Ooh, I'm sorry. Ooh.
It comes with territory.
So did they like stop talking to you?
Well, I mean, it definitely became harder to, did it become harder? I mean, there was producing is all about trust.
Yeah.
So as talent, if you feel like I can't trust this person, then you're not, but that had, that was all, yeah.
Well, can I just say this? What's so interesting is, as I'm hearing you share that producing experience, right? It takes me back, still thinking on what made LAMH have its magic that was there. And a part of that was sometimes you not knowing. You didn't know. Like, I remember you may have a time and a location to be somewhere, but you didn't know who you were meeting. All right. There was a lot of times you didn't know who was going to be there. I didn't know Tisha was coming to my event. You know what I'm saying? But that allowed you all to capture real responses, I think.
Exactly. Because that was the point. Because there's some shows I know that would do that for like, a heightened drama effect. But we also did it because we don't want you to overthink.
Yes.
If I'm going to meet with so-and-so and have a conversation, then you're like, well, what would we possibly talk about? And it's just like, it's going to make sense for your story, so don't worry about that part. Again, it's all about trust. If you don't have trust between the producers and the cast, your show you're going to feel it in the show.
Yeah. Like, I still even remember the big coffee scene Tisha and I had. Yes. Not knowing then not knowing who you were about to sit down with. You're sitting down with somebody.
Sidebar, I loved that dress. That dress.
That was
fire. Yes.
It was fire, Angela.
Steal it out the closet.
That was short hair meal too. I'm going back when I lose these 20 pounds. I'm going back to the short. I'm going back to it, baby. But no, that really, I feel like, again, and the audience can feel the real. Mm-hmm. Because if you know who you're meeting with tomorrow, let's be real. You're going to hit up your girlfriends. You're going to get their opinions on what you should say, how you should handle it, what you should do. Like, you're going to get all of that. And now the overthinking happens. And when the overthinking happens and the planning happens, the audience can feel that it's not a real conversation. When the fuck are y'all going to realize that? The audience can feel it when it's not real. When you guys have already sat down and decided what your whole season is going to be about. And you come to agreement that this is what the season is going to be for you and Sally, Sam, John. We can feel it and we know it, you know? And that is when I think I've even heard, let me just be real. I think I've heard Carlos say it, like trying to produce yourself pretty much.
Oh yeah.
Like, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
I don't remember his exact, like how, but it was like pretty much trying to produce yourself. Like you're coming up with all of this and you're having sidebar conversations. Hey, so look, I'm going to get mad. And I'm going to tell it. And this is when I would hear people saying, hey, was that real? Like the fuck, what you mean was it real? Like on the show, cast members. All right, was that like a real fight? Like, is this serious or was that just for the camera? And that's when it gets unreal.
Yes, I used to hate that. Especially after comeback group meetings. Like, y'all don't piss me off today. I hope everything that was talked about in this meeting. Lord, comeback group meetings, I'll save it.
We're too long. Used to be too long.
Yeah.
Yeah, because, you know, since you're in Huntsville and you have your Chicago tour company,
yes,
we've got to go on a tour through Huntsville and hit some of the spots that we hit in the early days when you were boots on the ground, okay?
It's only right.
Listen, it's only right. Angela's here, baby. And when LAMH was really a number one show, right? It was just different. It was just different. But yeah, I will say that people can tell when there is production happening outside of production. And I think that is where we start to feel like, okay, because and it's obvious, like you see somebody have a heated argument or make all these accusations or throw all these things out there, and then they're sitting together having lunch the next day. Or they're on each other's phone on personal calls outside of the show, like ain't nothing happened. You know, so you're like, now you know you ain't get over that quick. So was that even real?
Yeah.
Or was it a scheme set up by y'all?
And I think that's what also makes reality a difficult genre because, and we were talking about this, it's not natural to see people talking about you behind your back. It's not natural for you to know people's innermost thoughts about you. That's not a natural thing. We don't go through life knowing exactly. I don't know what you're thinking about me right now.
Right.
But when you go to your interview confessional and you're told in that moment to say everything you were thinking about Angela.
Yeah.
And now I know. So now the next time I see you, I'm like, oh, that's what you thought about. Okay, we'll have this conversation about whatever, but I know your innermost thoughts about me. It's not a natural thing. That's real. That is the formula of reality TV. That's all it is. It's getting people to be so transparent that they just say how they really feel about situations and people. And as cast members, you have to like soak it up season after season after season. That's hard.
And then and it's even harder, and I'm going to say this, but then I'm going to ask your thoughts on this. It's even harder whenever it's one person who everybody has something negative to say about that one person. Everybody has all these bad thoughts about this one person, and that becomes kind of like the punching bag, right?
Yeah.
So I'm going to ask you this. In your tenure as a producer, when you were a producer on LAMH, did you ever have a time or a moment when you felt like, hey, everybody's coming at the star of the show, like for real, like everybody's ganging up on the star of the show. Like, what is this? Did you ever even feel that, or did it not go there for you?
I didn't feel it. Well, it was something you said when we had talked before. I'm trying to remember what it was. And basically I was saying, like if there's like kind of the queen bee, I don't want to say syndrome. What were we talking about? And it was like, if you can't be the only person giving, right? You can't be the only person where the scene is popping because of this person. So hello, everybody. We're making a show. Everyone engage. Everybody come ready with that level of passion.
Yeah.
And like making a TV show.
Yeah.
So, and I think I was talking about how, like, as a producer, you do have to have those talks with the other cast members. Like, hey, we need you to show up and sing. And in turn, that can look like, all right, well, I'm in the scene with said person and I have to rise to the occasion.
Yeah.
And it becomes that sort of dynamic.
Yeah. Okay. And that too, I feel that too. But, you know, for me.
But as far as what you just said,
yeah,
maybe if I were boots on the ground, like, here, every scene, feel, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But, and even as stuff is shot, I'm not watching dailies, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, so I'm, you know.
Well, I'm glad you brought that up. I will say I started to feel like that.
Yeah.
I started to feel like, you know, what is really going on? Because everybody, it was almost like everybody got to have an issue with Mel. Everybody got to have an issue with Mel. And looking at it and thinking back, because I have had a year to sit back and, you know, go through my own emotional, like where I can even talk about LAMH right now and it doesn't bother me. There was a point where don't say LAMH on my live or you're blocked. And that's just where that trauma was there. So I had to take a year back to heal from that. But as I've kind of like, you know, taken a step back and looked at everything, I feel like there was a time where it was just like, you would think that I was in real life, really coming for people in real life and just doing all this dirty stuff. And I'm behind all the bad things happening to them. I'm behind people going out doing interviews about them. And I'm behind the bloggers and I'm behind, and wasn't true. And that caused them to come to a show thinking, I would tell you a conversation Marcel and I had. We had a scene at like a coffee shop or something. Well, after the scene was over, he was like, hey, Mel, don't leave yet. Let's chat. I'm like, okay, mind you, I didn't really talk to anybody that much. So they didn't really get to talk to me. Right. And maybe that was some of it. They didn't know some of the things happening or the truth of some things because I just stay in my own world and they stay in theirs. So he and I had a combo. In that combo, we talked, some questions were asked. I gave him some answers. He was like sharing some of the things he figured out as well on his own, you know, by seeing and paying attention to some stuff too. And it was like, man, my bad. Like I thought this. Like he did. Like I'll give him that. He was like, man, my bad. I thought this. He even called me after the last reunion. And he was like, listen, I just want you to know. The next day, he was like, look, I just want you to know the person I was sitting beside, he was talking about me. He was like, the person I was sitting beside, it's not giving an unhealed person. He said, I'm proud of you. Keep doing what you're doing. Yeah, real talk. He did, you know? And so it was just like, but for whatever reason, there was just this energy.
Yeah, I'll be honest. I would tune out with the blogging stuff. Like as far as behind the scenes, like approving creative and discussing with the team what's going on. I would just, like how I said in the beginning, I was in the Facebook group and then I left when it became too much. It annoyed me when we would talk about blogging stuff on camera. I didn't like that. Now, yes, we had a social mania show, but that was
for that. Yes.
I didn't like when, but I mean, it's real life and it's happening, but it's like, admittedly, I would kind of check out with that.
And fan bases, the millimeters.
Yes,
there was a whole season about that too.
Yeah. And then like you said, and then I had other shows too that I was dealing with. So I could only, you know, that was just not one of the things that like held my attention. So
you mentioned, you know, seeing episodes, my question, or seeing clips dailies, and things. Dailies. As an executive producer, before a show makes air, do you all get to watch the episode before it airs?
Yeah, we watch cuts. You know, that's a part of it. Okay. You know, noting cuts, post is working on editing the show, and they're sending, here's one version, here's, and it gets noted around.
Okay.
So yeah, like the network and yeah. Mm-hmm.
So before an episode hits the air, is it safe to say that the executive production team has seen the episode?
Yes.
It's safe to say that the network has seen the episode?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm. Okay. All right. Okay. Moving along.
What did I just agree to?
You just told the truth. I just asked the question. You just gave an answer, okay? But I would say what we say around here.
That's industry standard.
Noted.
That is industry standard.
That's industry standard that the executive production team and the network sees the episode before it airs.
Yes.
Okay. So the interesting thing is, of course, we as talent, we never could see an episode, except in the early years when you were boots on the ground and we had a reunion that night before, y'all would send us like an email with all the episodes that hadn't aired yet so we could be prepared for the reunion because y'all was going to ask questions about everything.
Mm-hmm.
I remember those days.
I don't know how y'all did it.
We did it. Stayed up all night watching the episode. But you know what? It was good. I remember the shift of going on a reunion and you haven't seen everything that's been said about you. You don't know. You get what I'm saying? Yeah. You don't know what your other castmates have said, what they filmed. And you're sitting on the stage expecting to answer questions about shit you ain't seen or heard.
Yeah, because because later on the filming schedules, yeah.
You talking about the A, B, C, D, E, F, G? Yeah, I mean, I would be like...
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, it was not ideal. That was not something I know from the production company. Like, it was not ideal at all. Because the whole point, that's what makes reunions exciting. Because you're able to be able, like, you know what? Here my notes, because I saw this.
Yes. And that it was like, it felt like that was taken away from us. It felt like, it was exciting the night before the reunion to know you're going to get those episodes, to be prepared for, for any question, for any episode. But then you get there and maybe you've seen 6 or 7 or 8 episodes, but y'all are questioning us about 15 or 20.
Yeah.
Like, 20. Wait, what? You know what I mean? Like, how am I supposed to? Or I'm being nice to somebody who I didn't know talk shit about me.
Right.
Then that energy now, instead of leaving it on the floor. And so if you're an executive producer and you're watching this, not being able to leave stuff on the floor at the reunion from the last season and seeing all the episodes after that reunion, it makes it hard because now that energy goes into a new season when the reunion should have been the place to put it all on the floor from all the episodes prior. And now we come back and go with a fresh energy into a new, it's taking that the fuck away.
And on top of that, you don't know what topics have really resonated with the audience and what has become banter on social. So, and they have questions about it. So you can't even make sure you touch upon that. You still, the audience hasn't seen everything. So we can't even get their questions. I remember I had friends that used to send me questions, but because my friends watched the show in the beginning. Ooh. Because I told them, I said, y'all, I am making this show and it's going to change the face of reality. I know you don't watch it, but this is the one. And they were like, okay, girl. Because, I was going to say, because we see the other shows you did. But
you're so crazy.
I said, no, trust me. And so they would send me questions. They were riveted by Love and Marriage Huntsville. So,
I remember this in the early reunion days when people would be able to send in a question.
Yes.
Do you remember the live audiences? Do you remember live audiences?
Yes. And they ate your ex up, honey. Yes, they used to eat him. He was
but it was so much fun having that interaction with people clapping, people saying stuff here and there. It was good.
He was like, can y'all give me a break? He addressed them at one point. Oh my goodness. Yeah. Everyone loves a live audience, but live audience is more money.
Oh, that's what it comes.
Yeah.
Oh, those people aren't volunteering their time?
Oh. No, it's so long ago.
Oh. I thought it was maybe a change because of when COVID happened. But
that was a part of it too. and a cost, yes.
Really?
Because then you got to feed them too. So it's all types of things. It's crafty.
Oh, God.
You know.
Yeah. Oh, shoot. I'm thinking, oh, man. Anyway, we love the live audience, okay?
Yes.
When it comes
Shout out to them.
Shout out to the people who, sat all day for a reunion.
All day.
All
Reunions
day.
are marathon.
They are
Like,
very long. And then especially when you think about hair and makekup, you're starting so early.
Mhm.
Like it's a lot. It's a lot. It's a lot. It's a lot.
And then they started shooting behind the scenes. I'm like, Lord, because I could just wake up and come as I am. Okay,
Yeah.
now it's like,
shooting BTS and all that.
Yes.
Like, leading up to hitting the stage. Yeah, it was a whole thing. It was a whole thing. Another question for you. So it has been rumored that there is a show and cast member or members are able to see the episode before it airs. So they kind of have that privilege of...
Are they like executive? I mean, are they executive producers on the show?
Hasn't aired yet. Coming very, 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 very soon. But even as an executive producer or even a creator or whatever, is that common for that to be allowed?
I've never been in a situation. Wait, you said they're on
their
the
talent.
They're
Yeah,
a talent.
Mm-hmm.
I've never been in a situation where talent can see an episode before it airs.
Okay.
Yeah, like I'm trying.
And how long have you been a producer?
Since 2014.
Okay, so you've been producing for 12 years
Mm-hmm.
and you've never seen that.
Wait, you just said my age.
No, you said 2014 is how long you've been producing.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, the year.
All right.
I did not say your age. I did not.
Wait, I just put myself up.
But if I did, you look the fuck good, girl. But if I did, okay, because I told Angela, I say, yes, bitch, you better keep yourself together. Because, girl, you look like the same Angela I met back in 2017, 18, okay? 18. Well, 18 was when it aired.
No,
it aired at 19. We started
but we
filming
met
at
in
18.
2017 virtually.
Yes,
Mm-hmm.
virtually. Ooh. What about my good friend LeBerry? You remember their interview?
Did I interview
Did
them?
you interview
Did I
them?
do I think by the time LeBarrett came was Kia. So Kia Mason is a Black woman who is super integrated in casting Love and Marriage. So like the first season of Bell Collective, the first season of Love and Marriage, I did the casting for that. And then, as the shows got successful, you're able to, bring in a casting director.
Well, let me tell you this. Speaking of Bell Collective, Letitia, she is Pearson. Yes, we presented, and I just did a recording they're doing a vertical awards thing for American reality TV. So I just did a presentation for them to send to them for that. But she and I presented the award maybe 24. She and I presented together. So sweet. My first time meeting her. She was super sweet. I heard you say you casted Bell Collective.
Mm-hmm.
Was she, for one, is she the anchor in your opinion? And two, how did she bring the show to y'all? Did y'all bring the idea to her?
Yeah, so Jacoby McGee and Letitia, from what I understand, because that happened. So So how you and Martell kind of met with Carlos, Jacoby McGee and Letitia met with Carlos, from what I understand. Okay. I don't know if it was, and I don't even know if I can say they met with Carlos, but communication, that show was brought from Mississippi to him. Because there was a time when Carlos was taking pitches. Jacoby, Letitia, they had already drawn up, the people they were interested in.
So they brought the people to you guys.
From what so many of the people, I know Marie, everyone I interviewed was given to me. Okay. I didn't have to go out and do so in casting. A huge part of casting is, finding the people and putting a call out. I already had a list of people to work with.
Much like LAMH.
Yes. And you are so funny because you remember the first people you were sending me?
I sent you Let's talk about it. People always want to know, how do I get my soft, beautiful, glistening skin? Baby, it's all about that 7th Avenue beauty. It is so important, ladies, to exfoliate. And one of the scrubs that I love is our Strawberry Delight. That's right. And it is so delightful. Exfoliate 2 to 3 times a week with your 7th Avenue Beauty body scrubs, and you'll thank me later. What's up, everybody? Listen, if you're just coming in, we are back. And today we have former executive producer of Love and Marriage Huntsville, Miss Angela Dugan in the house.
In the house.
She's in the house. Hey, she's back in Huntsville.
Back in the Ville.
Back in the Ville. Look, before we took a break, okay, you were falling out in your chair because she was like, girl, do you remember the people you were sitting in the meeting to begin with for Love and Marriage Huntsville? Let's get into it, because I feel like I sent you some amazing people.
Yes, but like a dermatologist, someone else. But the key thing here is that the vision Carlos had for the show was real estate, you know. And even I remember having to explain to him, because we did have a phone conversation, because you were like, property preservation is not like real estate in that way. Mm-hmm. And I, remember having to explain the differences, because, when you deal with houses, you kind of just think, oh yeah, they're in real estate. Yeah. No, it's a very specific industry. And so
one of them, the couples, they were in property preservation.
Oh, they were. Okay, I'm literally only remembering the one couple, the dermatologist couple. And I met them. I did a casting interview with them. They were super lovely. But it was just like,
not a fit for this.
Not a fit for this.
And then what happened after that?
And then, so I had a conversation with Carlos, like, these are the people she's sending me. And he was like,
girl, this is on.
Yeah, what do you, so whatever, you guys had a conversation, and then you sent me Marceau, kind of gave a little bit, not a lot. I remember your email, it was only maybe like 3 sentences, if that, if 3 sentences like this, but it mentioned Scout. Oh my God, remember Scout?
Do I? How could I forget Scout?
Well, right. Sorry. It's for me.
I forget Scout? Oh.
Y'all, because y'all have to understand, the first 2 seasons was Comeback Group Scout. Comeback Group Scout. And now you don't even hear about it anymore.
You don't.
So, yeah, so you sent Marceau and his wife, and then you said, and he has a brother who lives, like something like he lives around the corner.
Yeah.
And then that's when I interviewed them. And I was astonished. I'm like, I'm trying to understand if I should take Marceau seriously, because he was exactly how he appears on the show.
Yeah, Marcel's funny. He can be funny.
Yes, like he's from the day one I met this man, he said she has 3 kids. Like, he never claimed them kids like that.
Never claimed them kids like that.
But yeah, and I remember thinking, like, is this man like serious? Like, Letitia blinked twice, you know what I'm saying? But I realized, like, that's a part of his humor.
Yeah.
So that's what I was saying with your ex. I'm like, okay, I give people space for their personality, and then I can get that this is your personality. So Marceau, he really blew me away because he was different.
Yeah.
And then that's when I met his brother, because he talked about my best friend and Maurice and Kimmy. And that is when I learned about the Comeback Group.
So there was no casting call for LAMH. We presented people to you all.
Yes.
Okay. All right. Clear.
For the development.
For the development. Yeah. Clear. Clear.
Yeah. And then that's when, and we showed that on the behind the scenes, there was a behind the scenes special where the producers talk about the show. And so that's when I learned about the Comeback Group. I remember slamming my laptop, going to Carlos' office. I said, this is the show. Yeah. It's the Comeback Group. And they kind of, and like, it was just perfect.
Yeah. Wow.
And perfect and purposeful.
and purposeful. And that's it.
Mm-hmm.
That's it. Whenever a show is purposeful, that is when the audience connects.
Mm-hmm.
That's when everything resonates. And that is when you have a number one show.
Mm-hmm.
Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, that's how you create a number one show. And for me, when I say number one show, I'm meaning you're getting 800,000-900,000 million views, like a number one show, like not just on one network, but I look at things in totality, right? And that's just how I am, period. I look at things in totality. Where are you hitting as it relates to every other thing that's in the same category as you? And that is why I think LAMH had, such an amazing run like it did, is because there was so much purpose.
Yeah.
And it was purposeful, and people could learn, people had takeaways. It was sparking conversations in other relationships, marriages and friendships. It was doing all of that. And when you start losing where it's sparking conversation, like even the women, I know y'all was getting into bed with y'all hubbies or y'all men and was like, hey, so on the last episode of LAMH, this what happened? What you think about that?
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if that's happening anymore,
like.
And
it was, you all knew each other.
That too. Yeah.
When I think back to, cause there's talk that, the woman Princess casted Housewives of Atlanta.
Oh yeah. Producer Princess. Yeah.
Yes. And like these women knew each other. Like that's what I loved about the early days of Housewives of Atlanta. Like they would be talking about stuff that happened years ago before this show even happened. That's like, and because I said that you need trust as a producer between the cast, you also need trust with the viewer. Yeah. That whatever you all are putting on for me to watch, you're not lying to me. You're not trying to make me think it's something it's not. So when you say these are housewives that know each other from Atlanta and they're referencing stuff from fourscore, whatever years ago, and you all have photos, then I can think, okay, I'm watching real friendships. Yeah. And I haven't watched Housewives of Atlanta in years, but I do see a lot of casting happening.
And I think that's what's starting to happen. Actually, I had a college mate that I interviewed right here on Patreon recently. And in that interview that day, she literally told me that she had been reached out to a day after I posted her in our interview coming, that she had been reached out. No, by a casting person for LAMH.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, they hit her in the DM and wanted to speak with her and her hubby because they were casting for LAMH.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, that was something that, we started to do after the first couple seasons because like I was saying, when it gets to a point where the relationships are fractured and it's hard for people to film with each other, then you have to bring in people. And that's just, it's kind of the beginning of the end.
I got you. So I have another question for you, and then we're going to get into what you're doing now, right?
Oh.
Yeah, we're going to get into what you're doing now. Okay, we want to hear more about Chicago tours, baby. When you look back at it, Angela, and knowing that you all had the Holtz at the time and you had two Scott families, do you ever look back, especially as the show continued to, go on season after season, did you ever feel like, man, we've got two families here that are obviously family, so they're not gonna bump head too much? Or did you ever feel like we maybe shouldn't have casted two Scott families? Looking back.
Not have?
Yeah, where it made it to be like, okay, if the Holtz were into it with one Scott family, then that made it to where, because their family, the imbalance of it all. Yeah, the imbalance of it all.
I mean, I don't know if I could go so far as to say, because you don't know until it happens. When I think of it from a content perspective, I enjoyed it. You know what I'm saying? The dynamic everyone had with everybody. So but I mean the imbalance, yes, because
no matter how much you may have, let's say Maurice, Kimmy saying, okay, we're going to be the mediator. That's still your family at the end of the day. You know what I'm saying? So I can tell you from my perspective, looking back, that imbalance was evident.
And I could see that for sure. I could see,
Yeah. Okay, cool. So we have gone down memory lane. Woo! Woo, child. Woo, child. We have gone down memory lane of LAMH, the beginning days. We've got Angela here, who was literally boots on the ground, here and involved from the very, very beginning, okay? But I just want to say, when I say she's unstoppable, she is unstoppable. When I say she's unbreakable, she is unbreakable. She has not allowed anything to stand in the way of her continuing to fulfill her purpose, fulfill her passion, her dreams, let her gift make room for her. She has still been on her journey of producing. And now, while she is no longer an executive producer for prior said company, she is still doing her thing. Mm-hmm. She is still doing her thing. So Angela, let the people know what you've got going on right now in the heart of Chicago. Black Mecca is what I'm going to say, right? Like Chicago is it, okay? Yeah. Y'all know Lauren. Shout out to Lauren. My makeup artist, Lauren, is from Chicago. So I got Dawn Michelle, my manager, is from Chicago. So I got love for Chicago. Yeah, baby. So tell us what you got going on. Angela.
Yes. So I founded Southside Tours in 2024. Mm-hmm. It's a multitude of things. It's a bus tour that'll take you all around the South Side. Ooh. But what makes it different is I'm still me. The bus has TVs. And what I did starting in 2021 is I started interviewing people from the South Side of Chicago, my family, friends, neighbors. And so as you ride through the neighborhoods in the South Side, you see stories of these people who came up in these neighborhoods. So it's a interactive media-based type of tour because yes, there's a live guide, but when I do tours, I want to know from the bones of the people who were in this place. And as a guide, you can tell other people's stories. And this is a beautiful way to hear the stories directly from the people.
I like that.
Yeah. And, my mother's father, my grandfather, is from Camden, Alabama. Uh-huh. So are you from Camden?
Look at that. Look at that. Wilcox County in the house.
Yes. Camden is a small town about 22 miles from Selma. Mm-hmm. So I remember, and I spent summers in the South. So if you're from Chicago, because of the Great Migration, your family is usually from the South, especially Alabama, especially Mississippi. Yeah. And so I spent summers in Arkansas and Alabama. And so that was another reason why Love and Marriage Huntsville was so special to me. Yeah. Because when we would have breaks, my aunt would bring my grandfather. She would come from Memphis, he would come from Chicago, and we would go down and visit our family land in Camden. And it was I've always been interested in my family and where we come from and our history. And so I'm just really incorporating that in something I've always been interested in, and being a producer, a writer, director, and incorporating that into what I do now. Now I'm still pitching unscripted shows.
Yep, of course.
Still pitching, always.
Of course. Of course.
Give it a go. Haven't sold one yet, but I have them. So if you're buying.
Y'all heard it. Y'all heard it. If you're buying, she ain't sold them yet, but she got them.
Yes.
And y'all, let me tell you, this is a person who knows how to find and produce hit shows. So I'm going to tell you right now, whatever she has that she's waiting on the go and it being sold, you're talking to somebody who already done made a show #1 before on a network, getting millions of views. Okay, go ahead.
Period.
Okay, go ahead.
And so that's Alabama was special to me. I remember we were able to go to the Legacy Memorial Museum in Montgomery. I think like the second week it opened. Wow. Because when we went, they were like, whatever year this was, probably 2019, they were like, Michael B. Jordan was just here 2 days ago. Like they had just opened. Ava DuVernay was, she had been to the museum. I think she got a first peek. Yeah. But anyway, the Legacy Memorial, I kind of hated what the nickname was for it. It was called the Lynching Museum for short, because it's a memorial to the people who were lynched. I remember one of the latest lynchings I saw was in the 80s, so, wow. And we tried to get, me being me, tried to get a visit for the cast to film them going to the memorial. And I feel like...
that would have been good.
Yeah, but ultimately, we weren't able to get approved for that. But, I was always trying to incorporate our
culture.
History.
History.
Our history and our culture into the show because it's so important to be in Alabama.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
So no matter how much, and we can talk about and focus on the growth of Huntsville and how big Huntsville is, it's still important to focus on the Alabama roots and heritage of it all. And you know what's so crazy, Angela? Like, I'm born and raised right here in Alabama. And literally when I got to a place where I was like, I wanted to do reality television or have a show and for it to be right here in Alabama, I didn't want to have to move to LA or move to Atlanta, right? I wanted to show that the arts and entertainment industry had a place here. Like that you could be from Alabama. You could be here and do well in entertainment. You could be on television, right? Because that's something we didn't see a lot of. And I wanted to change that. So I'll be honest with you, knowing that I brought this show here, knowing that there are other shows now based out of Alabama that are coming. It lets me know that my vision initially, the purpose behind it initially is doing what it's supposed to do. So I wake up every day happy. Like if I was here no longer, starting today, I can say that I made my mark. I made my mark. I made my mark.
That's wonderful. That's why we're here.
And that's why
your purpose.
Period. And then you're doing that too, even with, your, the tours, like people, they're seeing real stories while they're, on this bus and hearing from real people from the South Side. That's everything.
Yeah. And it's also what there's this term now, experiential media, experiential events. I see my tour company as experiential media company, experiential events. Yes, you can, get videos on your phone and such, but how about coming on a bus and actually touching these places? A phone will only get you so far.
That's right.
And so, trying to invigorate people to come outside.
That's right.
And see these places for yourself.
That is beautiful. And again, your creative bulb is just still shining bright, because you thought of that and it's doing well. So kudos to you. And now, you're nominated. And like I said, we about to we're going to flood the voting and make sure that you get that top spot. But that is so exciting. And I want to say this. I got to say this before we get out of here, right? One more thing we got to touch on. As you're still making your mark, you're still pushing. I've already shared how unstoppable she is and how unbreakable she is. But I got to hit one more thing. Recently, right? You lost your father. Okay. 1 in 9 people in the U.S. suffer from dementia. And I remember, at times because you were here talking to you. How's your dad?
Drove down. He drove to Huntsville to see his baby girl.
Yes,
I'm living in the apartment.
Yeah. Yes. And just checking on you. Hey, how's your dad doing? And when I say a superb daughter, okay. And I saw that from a distance, a superb daughter. You were there. You were patient. I remember when at times you were like, oh, it's getting hard for my mom a little bit. It's a little tough. And I've never experienced like someone in my family suffering from dementia, but I can only imagine how tough that was. But I know he's so proud of you.
Can I just say my dad loved Love and Marriage Huntsville.
Did he?
He... and my dad was a straight shooter. Okay. He's from the low end in Chicago. If you know, you know. He did not love the other shows I did. He'd be like, girl, what's this mess you do? I see you to LA. I see you to college. This what you doing. Love and Marriage Huntsville. He came to me. He said, this is Black life at its finest and at the heart of who we are as people. He loved Love and Marriage Huntsville.
Boom.
Yeah, he did. He was so proud.
Wow. And proud of his baby girl for making it all come to life and making it all happen. So we are going to take a moment to honor him, to recognize him, and thank him for creating you. Because of you LAMH was created. How about that? Is that all right?
Yeah.
All right, y'all, we're going to take a break. All right. So look, we hope that you have enjoyed this interview, this amazing interview with, and I'm going to say with the Angela Dugan, okay? Award-winning producer, okay? Listen, the genius behind a lot of the shows that you have come to love. And she has come to Huntsville. I think we should go, Angela, and take them on a little tour.
Yeah.
Of
a little walk down memory lane.
A little walk down memory lane. You know, you said you like
from Chicago, the South Side.
That's right. Okay. You said you like experiential kind of things. So let's go out here and get experientialized. Okay.
Okay. Just don't give me the gift of distortion.
Look, thank y'all so much for watching. Stay tuned because we've got more to come.